Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to do a present about our group topic. It is muted group theory. So here I am, Asmaudi Marita Putri Dinanti, and then
I am Ida Tiara Rahima. Then,
I'm Eka Angelini Dias Putri.
And me, Fajarina Amelia.
And then I am Muhammad Farhan.
And me, Farmanur Alam.
okay, so that's all for our group. So we move to our presentation.
Okay, so we're gonna start this discussion topic by explaining the muted group theory that will explain it by Maudi. Okay, we move to the first page, the beginning of this discussion topic. You guys might be asking, what is muted group theory? Or does the muted in here have a meaning? Yes, it does. So I will explain to you about this theory. So basically, this theory is explaining about a way of communicating the dominant group in muting marginal group through the use of words, ideas, researches, and so on. This theory initially refers to group of women who are considered marginalized in their position in culture. But this theory can also be used to discuss other marginalized groups such as rock bands, LGBT, punk kids, and etc. And then we move to the next slide that talking about mutedness that will explain it by Farhan Mo.
Muteness. Muteness is mean when a person or group cannot express their ideas according to Keres Kramare. What women say does not get appreciation from men, so women must strive for equality. This puts women in the mute group.
And next, we're gonna get into the understanding the theory that will explain it by Tiara.
Understanding theory. According to Griffin Books, black holes in someone else's universe, Adler assumes that indifference to women is a gender problem for social anthropology. He then realized that mutedness was caused by a lack of power. This is what causes women to be ignored, neglected, and invisible, like black holes in someone else's universe.
And also, we're gonna discuss about anxiety or uncertainty in management theory that will explain it by Maudi. Okay, we got into the part that talking about anxiety or uncertainty management theory. Basically, this theory defines how humans communicate effectively based on their balance of anxiety and uncertainty in social situations. Effective communication refers to the process of reducing misunderstanding. According to Gundikons, there are times when a person in a cultural encounter is in the position of a foreigner and he or she will experience feelings of restlessness and uncertainty. Under this circumstance, individual will feel insecure and do not know how to behave. Therefore, this theory is said to be effective as a solution to the above problems. In the process, it can be done by paying attention when the other person is talking and figuring out how to respond to that person. We're gonna talk about the process, the first process and then the second that will explain it by Amel and Farma.
Process. First, ridicule. There is a difference between the dominance in judging an action of the marginalized, even though the action is also carried out by them. For example, when a man talks, it will still be considered talking. It's different when a woman talks. It will be judged as a gossiping. Or when a man busking is considered street artist. It's different when waria or bencong busking is considered a nuisance. Second, ritual. There is a lot of mutinous done in social or cultural rituals.
Control. The dominant group also control the marginal group. For example, the work of men is not comparable to that of women. Harassment. Many disturbances done by dominant groups to marginal groups are considered normal, but if done by marginal groups, it will be considered as serious action. For example, the treatment of white or black people in America.
We move to the next slide that will talk about resistance, that will explain it by Angie or Eka Angelina.
Resistance. According to Kramare, the strategy of resistance is also carried out through language. Terms that have negative connotation are abound and replaced. For example, black people in America object when they are called Negroes, and then they revert to themselves as Afro-Americans. Resistance also appear in the form of movements, such as the emancipation of women and also the equality movement promoted by the LGBT group.
Unfortunately, we got into the last part of this discussion topic. So before I end it all, I will tell you guys the reference that we got for our group theory. We got 3 references in here. The first one is Muted Group Theory by Cheris Kramare. And then the second one is Knowing Anxiety or Uncertainty Management Theory by William B. Gaudicans. And then the last one is we got it from our lecture in University of Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. It is Philosagita Sukmono and Junaidi Fajar 2014 that published a book talking about multicultural communication. So that's all for our reference. Before I close this all, last but not least, I will say much thank you for your attention to our presentation. And I will end it by saying Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.